afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching. Today on the Intentional Parenting, let's call it gist or talk show, we are having Ibitee live on the show. She's actually dialing in now. I'm just about to read her profile so that you will know that people coming here are really seasoned. We are on live interview with Ibitee, and she's a life and relationship coach. She has mentored and still mentors hundreds of singles and married within and outside Nigeria. She's a lover of God and his people. She believes everyone has the responsibility and capacity to release their potential. She has a responsibility towards family institution, and that's why we have her on this platform. To help parents groom and raise children. She's married with two amazing children. Welcome, Ibitee. Her name is Ibitayo Ladokun. Mrs. Ladokun, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation to be on this program. And today,
my pleasure.
Yes, our discussion is majorly on how not to shut our children down. During the Intentional Parenting Conference that we had like 2 weeks ago, like 10 days now, one of the parents asked a question, and the question was like, I have a son. The son is like 7 years old. He can ask 1,000,001 questions in 1 minute. How do we handle that?
Okay. Okay. Is that the first question? How to handle a child asking 1,000,001 questions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The main theme of today's program is how not to shut our children down. How not to shut them down when they are disturbing us.
To be sincere, it's not a very easy task. Okay. So it's not a very easy task to always be responsive, when children are asking questions. It can be because sometimes you've worked all day, office work, house, you're taking care of them, you're doing this, you're attending to so many things at the same time, that we women are fond of, so it can be really, really draining sometimes when you have a child that is always asking you for one thing or the other at different times of the day. So I actually understand, and I'm in that space sometimes too. Okay, because my children also, they come, they say, mommy this, mommy that, and sometimes they are asking you the same question. So for me, what I do at those times is, you've asked me this question before. Is it that I have not answered you? I have not met your need. Okay, so if a child is asking the same question, it may mean that the child is not yet satisfied with, the answers that you're giving. Okay, so the best thing to do at that time would be to take some time to call the child and ask again. Okay, so the first time you asked me what is Y and Z, and I told you Y and Z is this and that. Is there anything else that I am missing? Okay, because children too can think. They can think. They have their own minds. They have their own, so they can think. They can process information. Okay, but sometimes some of them can process it. Some of them may take time to process what you have said, maybe because of their attention span. So for some children, you may have answered, but it didn't settle. You understand? It didn't settle. So you need to be sure that what you have said, or sometimes you can even ask them to repeat what you, okay, so can you explain to me what I just explained to you?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Can you explain to me
Yes.
what I just explained to you? Okay, so that way you're sure that the child really got what you said. But when it comes to the feeling of being disturbed, okay, what I do many times is to catch a breath. I just try to catch my breath. You know, I can actually, and there's nothing wrong telling you, yeah, you need to catch your breath sometimes. I'm telling you, you know, and there's nothing wrong telling your child to, can you excuse me for a few minutes, okay? Can you, I do that a lot. I would tell the child to please excuse me for a few minutes, okay? And come back in a few minutes. I'll be ready for you, okay? Rather than, you know, because you have a tendency to want to shout. We all have that tendency, you know, when we're being disturbed and everything. You just want to tell the child to just leave me, you know. So sometimes you can just tell the child to give you a few minutes and be back, and so you'll be ready for him or her. So I understand how it can be, because I'm in that shoe, you know, a lot of times, and it's not easy. So one thing that I do is to catch my breath. Okay? Catch my breath. Just breathe in, you know, breathe in, you know, and tell myself, I do a lot of self-talk. Okay, we can practice that. Do a lot of self-talk, you know, to just get yourself at that moment. Yeah, to get yourself at that moment. Tell yourself, oh, it's not that serious. The child is just being a child, you know, it's not that serious. And then that way I'm able, yeah, it's a child, okay. So this is one of the things that children do. While I'm doing that, you know, I'm getting myself back together. I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, that's really answered the question. Thank you so much, Ibitee. I want to, you mentioned something about shouting. How can we prevent shouting as parents? Because sometimes these children are here and we are trying to tell them like that, the comedy will say, calm down. We are trying to tell the children to calm down, and the children are calming us down. And we are trying to say, you two calm down. The children is saying, mommy, calm down. They are here. They are like, especially now that they are on lockdown, they are home like 24/7, 360, almost 5 months now. They've been home.
I can imagine.
So how can we prevent not to shout? Because shouting might shut them out. So how can we
shut them out? Okay. So some psychologists have said that sometimes when a parent shouts, okay, you're not just responding to that child. You're responding to the things that is happening within you. Okay. So it may not just be, I like us to deal with ourselves, okay, not just with the child when it comes to shouting or reacting. A parent who is stressed, okay, and many things can make us stressed, okay. Like I said earlier, work, maybe you're not meeting your targets, maybe you've been working all day, okay, maybe you've been working all day, you know, stress in general, mental stress, financial stress, you know, disturbance from them also can also stress one up. So the point is, when you find yourself at that point, when you are about to shout, you need to know that you're under stress, you're stressed, okay? So the point there is, look for what you're going to do to calm yourself down and remove or deal with that stress. You understand what I'm saying? So we should know ourselves.
Yes, I do.
So we should, so the point is for us to understand ourselves. So when I am stressed, what do I do? Okay, to help myself come out of that moment, that period, that emotion that I'm feeling. Okay, so for some people, when they're stressed, they just need to take a nap. For some people, when they are stressed, they need to watch a movie and relax. For some people, they need a cool drink. Okay, for some people, they just need to call a friend and just have a chat. You understand?
Okay.
So the point is, we must take care of ourselves. Okay, so when you find yourself in that situation where you feel like yelling, you feel like yelling, you just want to react, you want to, this child has really stressed you, what is nice to do at that point is you can just excuse yourself or tell the child to excuse yourself and plan to deal with it later. Deal with it later. If the child has misbehaved, you don't have to react right there. Okay, so parents also have to practice self-control. Okay, which is a fruit of the spirit. Okay, yeah, which is a fruit of
Yeah.
the spirit. So in raising children, we need a lot of self-control. If not, you may go out of yourself, say things you won't be proud of later, do things you won't be proud of later. You've seen parents who have hurt their children in the bid to respond, in the bid to discipline a child and all that. Even parents who have, got high blood pressure. I remember this story is very funny, but I remember a story of a man who wanted to beat his child. I don't know what happened, Of course, a lot of shouting had gone on before he finally got a belt, and was going to, get the belt on the child. The moment he was trying to come down, his hand just, more like the hand hung. This is a real life story, that they had to go to the hospital and get the check, do the checks. Why? Because his blood pressure had, shot up. So we have to, tell ourselves, in this moment, I think I am stressed. So you revert to the things that you do. So parents have to understand themselves. Like I mentioned, understand yourself, okay? Some people are not looking fresh for nothing. They are looking fresh because they don't feel, hassled. Why? They understand how to deal with stress when they are in that situation. So parents need to, because you're an individual, even though you're a parent, you're an individual. So you need to know, what do you do to yourself that helps you to calm down, that state of rest, that helps you get to that state of rest. So that's what you need to do at that point in time. Tell the child to excuse you, or you excuse the child, you excuse the child so that you don't do those things that you won't later be proud of. We don't need, that's the truth. I still remember yelling last, I shouted, I think it was last week. But before that time, I had not shouted for a long time because,
Wow.
I was practicing some of these things. Yeah, I had not shouted in a long time. That's, because I've been practicing, and these things are possible. I've been practicing these things, and, I don't, I don't I don't take too serious some of the things that they do that should naturally get me upset. I just stay there and you watch like do the other time. Do you know that? Do you know the way it made me feel? Do you know the way it made me feel? So I talk about my feelings to the child. Do you know what you did made me feel very bad? Do you know it hurt me? Say, oh, mommy, why now? And then we have that conversation. They feel my emotion. You understand what I'm saying? They feel my
Yeah.
emotions. Children have feelings too. You also have a feeling. So many times we'll be able to express how we feel to our children so that they can also feel it and be in those shoes. And that way, I think the message is better passed, and you get your understanding, of what you're trying to say. So it's important that parents understand when they are stressed and know what to do, to take care of the stress that you're going through. Okay, take care of the stress that you're going through so that you can be at that state of rest and, peace.
Thank you, Ibitee. Some
You're
people will say
welcome.
my child is too young. At what stage can I have a conversation with my child? Because they may say, okay, maybe because she has older children, you can really converse with them. What about if I have a younger child that doesn't understand what I'm really saying? At what age can we really have a conversation with our children?
Okay. As long as a child can ask you for food, okay, as long as a child, and that's how you build, you build a sense of reasoning, you build intelligence in children. As long as a child can ask you for food, not the ones, even the ones that are sucking breast, and I give you an example. There are children that, you know, a mother or a father started reading to while they were in the womb. Maybe they were right from the womb, some parents read to their children. I did that with my daughter a lot. Okay, while she was in the womb, I used to read to her. When she came out, I still kept reading to her, and we started talking very early. Even as a toddler, under one, I'm telling you, I used to talk to her like she could understand what I was saying. Do you get what I'm saying? And so
Yes,
parents need
I
to start
do.
it early. Never mind if it looks as if the she will understand what I'm saying. It's okay. The fact is that they have ears and they have a heart that can understand and process things. So the more you do that, even if you're not getting, the result, don't just leave the child. Keep talking. Oh, you want water? You want water? Okay, I'm going to get you some water. Okay. Oh, why are you sitting on the floor? Oh, Shagun, you're sitting on the floor. Why don't you stand? And then you go and help the child to stand. Okay. You want to watch Barney. This is a child under one plus. Okay. This you want to watch Barney. Okay, I'm gonna put Barney for you now. Is that okay? Is that okay? Sometimes they'll look at you. That's for babies, really little babies. They'll look at you, and as you continue that, you will see that at some point, yeah, more like they will nod their, when they hear Barney, they say, Barney, they can nod their head. So that's how you build that conversation. So you have to build it early. Start building it. Start talking with them. There's some children that you can't sit down with and have a conversation. Do you know? There's some
Yeah.
children, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. They don't have that discipline to sit with you and have a conversation. It starts from when they were, very young. Maybe their parents didn't take that time, to be talking with them and engaging in conversation with them. It's very important. Okay, so when you do that and you continue to do it, maybe when they are eating, you can, anything can be conversational, anything, even food. Are you enjoying your meal? The child is 3 years old. Are you enjoying your meal? Yes, mommy. At least a 3-year-old can talk. You enjoy your meal? Yes, mommy. Even a 2-year-old. Okay, so we need to start early, have those, start conversing with them. Let their minds, start speaking the words, speaking the vocabulary, speaking, all of the things you're saying, understanding that it's important. And as you do that, they will see the importance of themselves in need, arises. So that's it. Start early. Start early, even if you feel that they are not understanding what you're saying. Still continue to do it. That way you help them, you build their reasoning. Okay, you're able to help them build their reasoning, the way their mind thinks, and their vocabulary, the things they will begin to speak by the time they begin. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. So it's all the things that you have put inside their hearts, plus the TV that they have watched, that they will begin to say by the time they start talking.
Thank you so much, Ibitee. That reminds me of one of the content I posted on Instagram the last time. I said sometimes our children only hear our voices. when we want to shout, but when they do something that is really nice, we just go mute. Now, finally, final question, unless you answer something that I need to just try to try to
Oh, I can't hear you, Shay. So children are really amazing people. They are individuals, just like you and I. So we must treat them as such. Treat them like beautiful, individuals who have minds, who can reason, who can think, who can do the things that you do. So if we have that mindset, then we will be able to, create time for us to listen to them, for us to continue to talk to them, okay, so that they can grow the way we want them to grow. I think that is not too easy sometimes, okay? It's not too easy sometimes having to respond to every of the needs, every of this one comes in, I want this one comes in, so what I do sometimes is I also try to help them build their problem solving skills. So sometimes when they are, I have two children, for example, they are having an issue, they are fighting over remote control, okay? I know a lot of parents, go through that a lot. So what I do is, okay, if you guys can't resolve your issues within yourselves, then I better hold on to the remote control. If both of you can't deal with your issues, then I better hold on to remote control and we'll all watch what mommy wants to watch. Then they say, oh, no. Oh, no, mommy, no. Don't worry. At that point, they will say they will solve their problems by themselves. I say, okay, good. So sometimes we just need to let go. Don't try to be in charge of everything. Yeah. Don't try to be in charge of everything. Don't try to be the master problem solver. You must solve every problem with your children. Sometimes they're having an issue and they come to you, mommy, this is what this person did. You say, okay, both of you should go and deal with it. You say, oh, yeah, deal with it. If you can't deal with it, then this is what happens. So that way they go, deal with it, and then, come back to give you a positive result. So that way you help them to build problem solving. You help them to build their problem solving skills.
Okay, the last question I was asking, that when can we tag our children stubborn?
I think we should not tag our children stubborn. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that, yes. I think that we should not, no matter what happens, we should not tag our children stubborn. Some parents will argue with me and say, you've not seen this boy when he's displaying. You've not seen this boy when he's doing this or doing that. I always say that children they are what you call tabula rasa. When they came in blank, they came in plain. You understand what I'm saying? They came in just the way they were. So whatever a child displays now, okay, there are things that the mind figured out one way or the other, whether by, we have, aside the fact that we learn, we see things, we hear things, and then that forms who we are. These children also have instincts, just like you have instincts. You have things you have within your heart, ideas in your mind. You can just sit down now and say, I feel like just taking this wig that I'm looking at now. I'm in my room, I'm looking at my wig. I feel like taking this wig now, just throwing it out of the window. You know, you as a human being, you can have those thoughts, you know, sometimes. So also these children, okay, so what a parent will then do if he or she sees that my child has tendencies to display these things, okay, is to consistently, I always say my own tool is talk. My own tool is talk and prayers. That's what I do. Talk and prayers. Talk and prayers. Talk and, you know, pray. I pray to God. I pray with the child. You know, if I feel that the child has certain tendencies that, you know, I'm not comfortable with, I don't want him to continue in, okay? So I keep talking and keep telling the child the consequences of some of these things that he's doing. If you do this, do you know that you can hurt your sister? He said, yeah, you can hurt your sister. That's why it's very important to be able to reason with your child, to have conversations that they can understand, okay? If you do this, you're going to hurt your sister. And when you hurt your sister, this is what is going to happen. It means that we all need to get into the car and drive her to the hospital. And when we get to the hospital, do you like the hospital? You say, no, I don't like the hospital. Very good. Since you don't like the hospital, then that attitude of yours has to stop. You say, it's true, mommy, I need to stop. Sometimes you have to, you know, discipline, you know, if you've warned and warned several times, okay, and the child still repeats, there must be something going on. I don't think it's okay to keep warning a child about something, telling the child about something, and the child still deliberately continues to do that thing. So I would say, don't tag a child stubborn, okay? Don't tag a child stubborn. Rather, continue to create time to have conversations with that child, sharing the consequences of what he or she is doing, how it can not only affect them, but affect other people around them, okay? Another trick, I won't call it a trick. Another thing that I do is also share the word of God regularly, okay, with the child. Okay, so when I share from the pages of this, you know, scriptures, we then relate it to everything that is happening in our house, okay, the things that are happening in our relationships with one another, okay, and then he will mention his sister's name while I'm talking. The sister will mention his own name. Do you understand? Say, more like, mommy is talking to you. I'll be like, no, I'm talking to all of us. So take what I'm saying for your do you get? They'll be pointing fingers, trying to see, mommy is talking to you. No, mommy is talking to you. As I'll say, okay, guys, I'm not talking directly to either of you. But this is what the word of God is, okay? So for themselves, and use it for themselves. I say, what does love say? Does love say you should do something that will hurt your sister? Or does love say we should say, no, no, no. Love does not say we should. Rather, love protects. Love does this. Then they'll begin to recount to me, love does this, love does that. Love, you know, and that way. So I believe that constant teaching, constant conversation for me is the best, most effective way of training children. That's why you see that school is open, or rather school used to be open 5 days in a week. Okay, 5 days in a week. School used to be open. You needed to be in school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And for those 5 days, you are learning consistently. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that parents must engage in. You must create opportunities to teach as many times as you can do this every day, within the hours of the day. You must teach. You are their primary teachers. That's it. You're the primary teacher. I wish I could find a particular scripture in the pages of the Bible when, you know, when God was talking to the, you know, to the Israelites, in Deuteronomy. I can't remember the actual chapter now. You know, and he told them how they should teach. He told them how they should teach.
Yeah.
Write it on the wall. When you wake up in the morning, before you sleep.
Ibitee, I think it's Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 to 9. Deuteronomy
Wonderful.
chapter 6.
6 verse 6 to 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me quickly see if I can read it out. And, you know,
Yes,
I'll just read it out and we can conclude. Okay, you were saying it's one of the scriptures that... Okay, so I'm going to read it out. So
that's intentional parenting.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, no, it's not Deuteronomy 6 to 9. Okay, very good, very good. Look at it. And these words, yes, you're very correct. Sorry, I was looking at 7, 6 to 9. Okay, so it's 6 to 9. Yeah, yeah. And he says that, and these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house. Are you seeing that? When you sit in your house, you are talking about them. When you walk by the way, maybe you're strolling, you're taking a stroll with your children, you will talk about it. When you lie down, say you will talk about it. When you rise up, you will talk about it. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand. So on your hand, you post it, you know, paste it rather. They shall be as frontlets between your eyes. When they look here, they will see it. You shall write them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. Okay, so for me, this is just the way to go for parenting. This is the way to go. You must take time to teach every time, as many times as possible. Take time to teach. Take time. Make sure you're passing on something, because as you pass it on, it's getting in. For some, maybe some parents are watching and their children are kind of like, I don't know, where am I going to start with this child? Start today. Start today. Start today. Wherever you are is a good time to start. Okay? It's a really good time to start. So start today. Keep talking. Keep teaching. Keep teaching. Let every moment be a moment of teaching. Okay? Sometimes you may feel like you're talking too much. Believe me, you're not. The Bible says, train up a child in the way you should go. In the way you should go. It doesn't tell us whether the child is responding or not. Okay? You just keep doing it in the way that it should be done. As you keep progressing in time, you know, you will see the fruits of all that you have been saying. So with prayers also, which will help the heart of the child, you know, to be responsive to what you're saying, you know, praying with them, praying over them, you know, praying for them. Sometimes, and I always say this thing to parents, if you have, because I'm a Christian, so everything that I share, okay, is from the things that I've learned from the scriptures, which has worked for me, which is working and working for a lot of people that I know. Okay, so I'm very confident that if you have a child who, you know, is giving you some, you know, has some tendencies, I believe you can search within the scriptures, you know, things that can address what that child is going through. Okay, search through the scriptures. When you have done that, you have found those scriptures, begin to, you can even do maybe a one-page, the child is really young, do a one-page confession for the child. Okay, let him or her confess it, you know, in the morning, confess it, you know. You may not be able to do it many times in a day, but as many times as you remember, let the child say those things, you know, and before you know it, those things become, you know, part of the child. The child begins to see reason in what you're saying, you know, plus praying for him or her, praying over him. So those confessions, everything adding up. Are you going to tell me that you will not see what you want to see in that child? There's no way. You will see it. Okay, you will see it. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me. I've really enjoyed myself this afternoon having this chat.
Okay, thank you so much for today. I'm definitely going to bring you back trust me, sis, I'm definitely going to bring you back. We're going to have like a part 2 of this session. What I learned so far from what you said, like I always say, parenting starts with you. You need to understand yourself. Then you mentioned something about self-control. I remember one of my sisters was telling me a joke. One of my sisters was telling me a joke about telling the child to bring water. And we was like, bring the water now. And the child said, patience is a virtue. That's what she's always telling the child. And the mother now realized that, okay, I think I have gone out of it. So self-control is very important. And you mentioned quite a lot about communication. Communication, no matter the age of our children, you even said even when they are unborn, we should communicate with them. Communication is very important. We should talk with them, and also we should pray for them and pray with them. As they are growing older, we should pray with them. We should not just be praying for them in our closet. We should pray with them and also share the scriptures with them. Thank you so much, Ibitee. Thank you for having, we really appreciate you here on this show, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you for joining. Thank you everyone for watching the Intentional Parenting Talk Show. We hope to see you next time on our next video. Have a wonderful time. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.